everybody, and welcome to session 5 of Printweaver's Pillars of Ink, which I have dubbed Weaving the Threads. I am Mare, your game master. I use they, she pronouns. And before we get started into the recap and the content warnings, all of my players are going to go around and say, hey, who they are, who they're playing, and we'll keep going from there. Let's start with Abhishek, and we'll go clockwise on the overlay.
Hey, my name is Abhishek. I use he, him pronouns, and I will be playing Vago Viator, who uses they, them pronouns.
Angela?
Hello there, lovelies. My name is Angela Morejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Lucivayo, who also uses she pronouns.
RJ?
Hello, everybody. My name is RJ. Today I'll be playing Hale, and we're both stinky bastard men at heart.
Yeah, I guess. And last but not least, we have Amber.
My name is Amber. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be playing Mariana Cross, who uses she, her pronouns.
And please, okay, there we go, Nightbot. Thank you. Before we get started, I'd like to remind everybody that this game is a gothic Souls-like horror game based on the Souls games where everybody dies a lot. So, of course, our game has some content warnings, which include, but are not limited to, death, rebirth, and violence. We also have mental degradation, which will be in this session, as well as emotional turmoil. Both of those will be heavily in this session, so please, if you need to step away, please do so. Your safety is very important to us. And the recap, which I said I would do this week. So last session, our travelers went from Perth and headed north to check out the source of the river that apparently was polluting the river with ink. They went to go investigate that. The four of our travelers climbed that mountain for a good chunk of time, but were caught in a storm. And because of that storm, we had some rock slides, and Vago almost died by blunt force trauma of getting chucked off the mountain. But thankfully, with some quick thinking from Hale, that was prevented. When they reached the top of the mountain, they did find the source of the river, a spring of some sort, but were quickly attacked by a rock golem, whose main source of damage was boiling water. Luce almost died because of this and this creature, but once again, our travelers prevailed with no casualties. However, there were casualties on the top of the mountain, where our players were confronted with two bodies. One, the corpse of a member of the Magnus of Cycles, the organization set up in Vale Point, and a young woman by the name of Ellie, which Mariana knew from her hometown. This occurrence of this finding these corpses resulted in flashbacks from Vago, very painful flashbacks and migraines. And they also found weird runes around the spring. A couple days passed while Hale taught Mariana and Vago how to harvest the ink from this monster, and Luce began to heal. They did some research trying to figure out what these runes for, but the final conclusion was they just don't have that expertise and information, so they left, taking both rubbings and a rock or two with them. And they went down the mountain, where they quickly saw 3 smoke trails from campfires or settlements. One of which, due to Hale's familiarity with the area, one of them was not a settlement. So Hale snuck up on this new camp, saw a bunch of nerds, scholarly types, and went back to the group, telling them what he saw. The group decided to go into this camp, and they found out that this is where Professor Villette is, the professor that Emily, Hale's friend and the printweaver of Perth, suggested they go find after the divination spell. They waited around a little bit, waiting for Professor Villette to return from whatever she was doing in the woods and researching out here. And eventually she arrived. And when she arrived in the tent with the 4 of you waiting for her, She dropped her stuff in shock as she saw Luce and uttered the words, "Calla Lily." As we enter back into this scene, in media res, anyone who might be looking at the door or the tent flap would see an individual that has auburn hair in an undercut, seeming to make her way to the tent after she saw Professor Villette drop her stuff, but then seems to think better of it and not walk forward, but is watching intently. But yes, we return to the scene with Professor Villette staring at Luce in shock.
Hale is just going to get up as he reads the room, takes Mariana gingerly by the arm, and leads her towards the door, grabs Vago by the scruff of his shirt.
Where are we
That-
going? What?
That movement seems to snap Professor Villette out of whatever trance she is in. And she bends down, bones creaking, to pick up her book before sitting up, and she's looks down, takes a big deep breath, squares her shoulders, head held high, and looks straight forward. Maya told me that some individuals went up to the mountain.
Yes, we found some symbols up there that we were hoping that you might be able to decipher. Eyeing Luce. Is Luce okay?
Yeah,
Luce?
what is Luce thinking, saying, doing? What is
The moment
the...
that
Go ahead.
the moment that Professor Villette dropped her book, she immediately, pure reflex, went down to try and bend and pick it up for her.
Nothing changes in terms of how that rest of the conversation would go, but she does take the book from you gently, purposefully not looking at your eyes.
Do you guys
Or just-
touch fingers?
Probably. Anyone with any social skills, however minuscule they are, can tell that this woman is trying very hard and just barely succeeding to keep herself composed.
I think Mariana doesn't have the social skills
That's fair.
and starts to go on about what happened on the mountain and how they found the runes. Then I was picking through all of these rocks. My goodness, there was so many of them, and they all had all of these different runes on it. And then there's one, Vago. You have one in your bag, right? You took one of the rocks, and she opens her journal, and she's like, I made all of these rubbings of all of the different ones that I could. There might be more, but these were all the ones that I found. She's holding her journal out for Professor Villette to see.
She looks at him briefly, but Luce, with you being right in front of her, she very quietly says, "Excuse me, Luce, I would like to sit at one of the few comfortable chairs in this camp."
Of course, of course.
She'll walk past you to this very makeshift desk, and if you look at the chair, it's literally just a stump with a cushion on it. And she puts down her book, moves a couple things that don't really need to be moved, and folds her hands on the desks and looks at the four of you from behind it. Could you please start from the beginning, my dear?
Oh, okay. Well, when I was born, I was born.
Too far,
with-
Mariana, too far.
Where should I start?
On the mountain, love.
Oh, okay. Well, when we were climbing up the mountain, Vog almost died. It was not really funny when it happened, but kind of in hindsight, it's a little bit funny. And then when we made our way up to the mountain, there was this big rock, but the rock was alive. I think it's a golem. But he did not try to smash us like I thought a golem would. He shot fire from all over his body. But not like fire, it was like water fire, you know what I'm saying? Like it was really hot. And so we may have had a little misadventure with that. And then I found my friend, but we're not going to talk about that right now. And then we found all these rocks. And then wait, there was ink. But now the ink's not there anymore. I can't really remember that part. I just remember that Luce she got really hurt, and I thought that she was going to be dead, but she's not dead, and I'm really happy.
Little preface: we were investigating why the river was so inky. Our tracking led us up to the mountain, and events unfolded.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
Yes, yes. I believe it to be what people have been calling pillars.
Ah,
But a pillar looks like a big stick in the sky.
Technically, yes. But they've been called pillars due to the large amount of ink that seems to come up out of nowhere. So,
Were
my
you the
group.
one who named them?
Let me see if she was the one who named them. I'm gonna do odds yes, evens no. Yes, not me specifically, but one of my aides exclaimed when the first pillar came up, which was very much pillar shaped. And it gets stuck.
So they're like
Yes.
metaphorical pillars.
But yes, we were meant to go up to the mountain eventually, but our attention is needed here, so it's coincidental and happenstance that you stopped by.
yes. We're also investigating the rumors that people from the other settlements have been disappearing around the river and coming back a little bit changed.
She nods in confirmation.
Any idea what's causing that?
We're still in the midst of figuring that out.
Have you seen any of them?
Go ahead, Luce.
Are you telling me you don't already know?
I only have everything but hypotheses, but I can only go so far.
But you already know so much.
She looks away from you, but nods. I think it is a monster of some sort.
But you don't know what kind?
She shakes her head. Kind of motions to herself. I am not in the shape I used to be to fight creatures of ink.
You did fight creatures at one point, though, correct?
I did.
When?
And she, when you ask that, she winces because you already know. You should, in theory, already know the answer to that. But she doesn't comment on that.
You had a sword with you.
Luce, I think this is a conversation better set aside for after.
Mariana will lean over to Vago. Does Luce know this lady?
Really good question, but I don't know. I get the feeling the lady might know Luce.
Isn't that really weird if they don't know each other?
Vago just sort of shrugs.
Hale?
Yes, Liz.
I think Luce struggles to say. I think she turns a bit to the side, but I think she moves closer to you, and I think there is a look on her face you have probably never seen before. It is almost a look of desperation, and sort of like gestures towards the two of them, and like points towards outside the tent, and just sort of says to you, please.
Professor, if would be able, can we continue our conversation later about the pillars?
Yes, of course. Any of the researchers or the fellow travelers can help you, feed you. We have enough supplies.
Thank you for your hospitality. Mariana, Vago, why don't we go get a meal?
I'm kind of hungry. Sounds good.
Sounds like a good idea.
I wonder if they have chocolate pudding.
Hope so. What's
The- the-
chocolate pudding? As they walk out.
Hale, was it?
Yes. Yeah,
Please close the tent flaps on your way out.
of course.
All right. When the three of you exit and leave, you all decide who sees this. The woman with the auburn colored undercut watches you all leave for a second before breaking off her conversation that she was having with a couple of the other travelers. Leaves and begins to make her way around to the other side of the tent, where Professor Villette and Luce are.
She's spying.
Yes.
Job.
Sorry, was that Amber?
That's our job. I want to know what's happening. This is really weird. I was telling Vago it's really weird that they like know each other, but they don't really know each other.
If Luce wishes to fill us in on these events, that is every single right of hers too. I'm going to get some food. Whatever you two do, that's on you.
Mariana will look at Vago like, what are we doing here? Like,
Vago's just gonna sigh. My God, I feel this is gonna go really bad for us later. But they're gonna look over towards the auburn-haired woman. Kind of stuck around back. Something doesn't seem right about that one. I feel let's. They're gonna look towards Amber. We should go check it out.
Mariana is very nosy about this.
But be careful.
Okay, I'll be really quiet.
If you two follow, she's on the far side of the tent, one kneeling down on one knee and just listening. Do you do anything else before I hop back over to Luce?
No, but Mariana positions herself in a way that where she can also like probably mimicking the woman with the auburn undercut, where she can also listen.
Vago?
Vago's just gonna sigh again, but just to keep Mariana from accidentally doing anything that would possibly reveal where they are, they'll just go forward and try to keep an eye on both of them.
Even if you're noticed or not, it doesn't really matter. She does glance over at you, but does not say anything and just listens. Luce, as soon as Hale has shut the tarp tent behind you, Professor Villette removes her glasses, puts them down on the desk, and puts her face in her hands. Luce, where have you been?
How do you know my name? How do I know about you?
She very reluctantly moves her hand, face from her hands, and looks at you. And she's just trying not to cry. Don't remember?
Don't. I don't.
She, underneath her shirt, she pulls out a matching locket. We got married over 50 years ago, Luce.
I know. You still look as beautiful as the day we wed.
There's a half-hearted chuckle at that before she just kind of shakes her head and puts the locket back underneath her shirt. I don't know how to have this conversation.
We have to have this conversation. We have to. This has to be something. There has to be a reason for this, right?
I can only guess why you don't remember me, Luce. Why you've been gone for 50 years.
You've been gone. Why don't I remember you? Don't,
Do you want the hypotheticals, or do you... Because that's all I have.
I don't know you, and all I want to say in response is that I want you. You just tell me, just say anything. Just say anything that say anything.
I've missed you, Luce. I've really, really missed you. And she kind of... Where are you standing in relation to the desk?
I think she's been right in front of it, like trying her hardest to be standing like upright, but as her voice is wavering and she's trying her best to not break down fully, she just kind of falls to her knees in front of the desk.
She puts out both hands, palms up, out to you. Her grip is not as strong as it used to be. Are you going to go again?
Did I leave you?
Not in a bad way.
How could leaving you ever be a good thing?
Well, you left because some people needed help. And I couldn't go with you because I was a little useless with a broken arm at the time. I gave you my sword, and you never came back.
I'm sorry. I know that this doesn't mean that much, especially after 50 years, but I'm sorry I wouldn't have left if I could have otherwise.
She's slowly nodding, and at this point, she is silently crying and just squeezes your hands a little bit more. I know. I know you're sorry. But seeing you now, I don't think it's your fault. Even if you don't remember, the feelings are still there, it looks like.
Is this what I've to remember all this time? Is this what I've been trying to bring back day after day? Just remembering sweet memories, just words, just moments of somebody's smile, of somebody's beautiful face, my daffodil. Is this all? Is this all you?
It is, Kala Lily. It is.
Died
You've probably died a lot of times.
so many times. Please. I thought I died many times. Looks like I only died the once. I'm forgetting you. That was the worst death of all.
I've told you many times you should have been a poet.
No, I
Come here.
don't have words, I don't have learning, I don't know things. I kill, I fight, that's all that I do. I
Loose.
don't do anything. I
Loose.
don't do worthwhile things. I don't
Come loose.
I can't.
Come here. She actually lets go of your hands, stands up and walks to the other side of the desk, and will pull you into a hug. And she joins you in crying. Can I get a check from everybody? Doing okay, Ange? Okay. All that matters is you're here now, and we can figure it out from here, okay?
I took your name when we married, didn't I?
She nods.
It wasn't Elvire, was it?
No.
That was the closest sound I could think of to remember it.
It's a lovely name. Do you want to sit and talk?
Yes. Yes.
She would like to How amicable are you to moving physically? Or is it like a no moving time?
No, actually, I think if she in any way like gestures or like touches loose, she crumbles right at her touch.
In that case, she will join you on the ground. And the two of you can talk for the rest of the evening.
I think that once Mariana's like, oh shit, this is kind of a big deal, like, she'll kind of just like turn around and like tap Vago and go find anything else besides this. Like,
I'll say the woman that you followed there looks angry. But eventually, as the conversation gets a little more mundane or just catching up after that very heavy one, she does get up and goes back to camp.
as Mariana will like gesture to Vago to let's go like quietly. She doesn't want to like they probably would not hear us at this point, I think, because they're so invested in each other, but Mariana still feels like she needs to be like respectfully quiet of their space. So we'll just sort of like gesture to Vago, you know, like to like the way that they saw Hale go. And then as they see the auburn-haired woman go to camp, we'll sort of nod like in her direction. I don't like her.
Are you muted? I think you're muted.
I was muted. There's something off about her. I don't know what, but
I mean, she looked mad, right?
I
That
think
was
so.
it's really nice. Why was she so mad?
If you have will or a chance dice, roll me a quick will check. If you want to Hale, you can. Because you did see her.
I got
Okay.
a success.
One success.
One
You're not
success.
sure what it is, but there is some physical characteristics that are similar to Professor Villette. The shape, the color of the eyes, the sharpness of the gaze, some blood relation. Hale, what were you doing during this conversation? Not eavesdropping, obviously.
He had told the group that he was going to go eat, but that was a lie. Small amounts of worry on loose, so he has found like an open space, like underneath a tree, pulled out a pipe, and just been chain smoking underneath the tree, just eyeing the tent.
Maya, one of the researchers and assistants to Professor Villette, walks up to you with like a bowl of soup. May I join you?
Oh, please. I'm sorry. Do you mind the? I can put this out.
No, you're okay. Did you want dinner?
Oh, I'm just gonna wait for my compatriots before we eat. Meals taste better together.
True. Just wanted to make sure you were okay. I see you all didn't come out.
Me personally, I'm fine. Luce and the professor have some business they were discussing. I don't particularly know the details behind it.
She gives you like a quizzical look, but nods.
I'm sure in time, Luce will explain. I'm not one to pry into other people's lives.
Not unlike Ari, I guess. Unlike Ari, I guess. And she kind of motions to the tent where you saw your companions and the woman go.
Yes, who was that?
Ari is the professor's great niece. She's protective.
Well, I can see that. Resemblance is quite uncanny, actually.
I've heard on more than one occasion that the professors say that she looked like a lot like her when she was younger, so.
But yes, how long have you and your exploratory team been out here?
About a week.
That would explain why I did not recognize the fires.
Yes. We didn't want to. If we cause some commotion, we didn't want to be near settlements, so keep any issues in Steeler. So if we did get under attack by a monster, wouldn't put anyone at risk.
That's very amicable of you. Sorry, just a bit of concern for my friends. They also went around back to go eavesdropping.
Well, I'm sure they'll be fine. I'll start getting some food together for the three of you. So.
Why don't I join you? I need to do something with my hands.
Sure, I
Aside
can.
from smoking.
I can introduce you to everybody else here.
Much obliged.
She'll bring you over to like the main campfire, where there are a couple other tents, but you also see several other individuals. You see the two other travelers that confronted you two at the when you got close, and Maya introduced them as Alvar and Ilyana. Ilyana has an eye patch over their left eye, while Alvar is the one with the very, very, very short hair and scars on his face. He just waves to you. And she also introduces three researchers. Herself, of course. Charles, who is a young man who looks like he should be working on a farm instead of researching. And a young woman named Nalia, who looks very frail. And it occurs to you, you haven't seen her stand up at all yet. She has been mostly working in a chair near the campfire or near a desk. Maya introduces you all to all of them and then motions to Ilyana, Alvar, and Nalia. These are the local travelers here, along with Ari. They're the ones keeping us our butts from joining the afterlife.
Oh, well, pleasure to meet all of you. My name's Hale. I hail from Perth.
Nalia smiles at you warmly. It's a really cute settlement. You have a beautiful home.
Yes, thank you. If you do have the time, stop by in the spring. The apiary is quite beautiful then.
I'll make sure to stop by when we have the chance. Vago and Mariana, you do see Hale talking with the rest of the research group when you eventually start heading back. And you smell soup.
I think she went to go say, "Who are these people?" and then smelled soup. And I was like, "Oh, something smells really good."
Very quickly, coming up behind you, is the woman with the undercut. She doesn't bump into anything, but she does walk past you, but doesn't say anything before helping herself to soup.
Mariana will give her not a very long look, but a quick bombastic side eye. Just like a almost like if she were to have stuck her tongue out at her, but like a little bit more adult. Like
Maya, however, does look at this woman. Ari, welcome back. Do you want dinner? As she says, as she's already getting her own soup. She just kind of, this woman, Ari, just gives Maya a curt nod. How about the two of you?
Yes, please. Yeah.
I love soup.
Probably closer to a stew, but it's still very good.
Well, then never mind. I don't want any.
Uh,
I'm just kidding.
okay, okay. And she'll give you your 2 bowls. And after like thoroughly serving all of you, were you able to talk to Professor Villette?
We're going to discuss business with her after dinner.
Oh,
Mariana will just look at Vago. Like,
it's very odd. She's usually very business oriented, so something very pressing must have come up.
she had different business to take care of.
Yeah. Let's just say there was some very pressing business to take care of. Leave it at that.
Ari, into her soup, kind of just slowly mutters. She's just muttering something along the lines of, it's not very polite. But you can't
Did you
quite
say something? I couldn't hear you.
with her spoon, partway up to her mouth, she glances up at you. The business, I guess, is her listening to what that bitch has to say for herself for leaving her alone for 50 years.
That's not a bitch. That's loose. You don't say that about her.
You say what you want. I'll say what I want.
Mariana
Phil doesn't
will.
understand the facts of everything, but go ahead.
Mariana will slam her hands on the table and stand up. Just sort of size Ari up.
She doesn't stand up to meet you.
Wouldn't be worth it. Wouldn't be any fun anyway. She sits back down.
Thought so.
I imagine that makes Mariana hot, and she tries to go for her.
Wait, you're gonna go for her?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. Love this.
Oh man.
Vago and Hale, are you doing anything?
Vago's gonna try to step in between them.
Okay, you're not the only ones. The 2 guards are also going for it to get to also intercept.
Okay. Cool.
Like, there's at least 3 people
She
intercepting.
can't just people.
Sorry, you cut out.
She can't just say that about people. You can't just call people names like that. You don't even know her.
And you don't know the 50 years of pain that my aunt went through when Luce walked out on her.
Do you think it was her fault? She doesn't even know. She doesn't even know.
It doesn't change the pain that my aunt went through.
No, it's not. And her pain is. I
Are you
can't
done?
imagine what it feels like. No, because you're being rude and you won't stop.
I'm done. I'm going to bed. And she stands up, nods at some of the other folks who likely made the soup, and begins walking off towards the tent.
Hope that her print weaver is far away. She'll sit back down.
Oof. The frail-looking traveler that I have named Nalia inhales and exhales. Sorry about her.
Can't just say things like that about people. She doesn't even know Luce.
We know. Vago's gonna try to comfort Mariana and try to calm her down. We know it was rude of her to say that, but that doesn't condone violence.
But
Mariana.
I can't imagine Luce would have done something like that on purpose, right? Like that. She just has to not remember.
I agree, but still, that wasn't a good idea to get riled up like that.
Darn
Ari is protective of her aunt, and we don't really know the full history. So, I'm sorry for her actions.
She should worry about taking care of herself.
She takes care of herself and more than herself. So, I would advise not getting into a fight with her, though.
We'll see about that. Mariana's like pumping herself up. Like, yeah, we'll see about that. Like,
I just ask that you please do not, because she is also protecting us.
that gives Mariana some pause. She knows what it's like to have to protect other people. Okay. Just because she's protecting you all, though, I don't want the nice people to get hurt. The kind ones.
I'll talk with her later.
Hope she listens. Just not nice.
Nalia smiles. If she's gonna listen to anyone, she'll listen to me, don't worry.
Okay. Mariana will start to anger eat soup.
Fair.
Hale will push his bowl towards Mariana and stand. Well, I'm gonna take a bit of a walk around the perimeter, make sure everything's in check. While we're here, if you don't mind, I'll offer my assistance in tracking, spotting, that sort of thing.
The traveler by the name of Alvar nods and also stands up with you. Nalia looks at him, looks at you. He wants to join you.
Not much of a talker?
Not really.
Are you fine to listen?
Alvar just smiles at you, gives you a nod.
He and Alvar will take a perimeter check. Hale is just chatting to Alvar, not at Alvar.
Yeah, no, he's a great listener.
So then we scaled the mountain, and then there was this fuck off golem there that squirted a bunch of us with boiling water.
An eyebrow raise at that.
Yeah. Weird, though. The water was clean and not diluted with ink, which doesn't explain why the river's so inky. Alvar, you are fantastic at listening.
Is there anything else? Actually, this is probably a better question for Angela. How long until the two of you are ready to leave the tent?
It's probably a long time. I can think of at least one other thing that she definitely wanted to say to her
Okay.
in apologizing.
Yeah, we can do that.
But
The two of you have just been on the ground this very long time.
how have you managed so well?
I did very well at first, actually. Because, just thought, you died, come back, helping people where you go, and just hope and faith that you were okay. But then a decade passed, and then 2, and it got harder. I thought you got consumed by a printless at some point. And then time just did its work, I guess.
Certainly didn't try hard enough with you. Still is wonderful.
I refuse to believe that you didn't do anything except your best.
Can't give me that. You can't give me anything close to that kind of forgiveness.
Noose, I refuse to believe that you intentionally forgot about me. Especially with how this whole conversation has gone. Anything I should have tried to find you a little harder.
You can't ask that kind of devotion of anybody. You can
Well-
ask it of me, I can't ask it. I can't ask it of you.
Well, it's what you're getting.
Ben,
Are you going to refuse it?
I spent so many nights half remembering things. To a certain point, that all I expected for someone at the end of the road just to tell me you were a terrible person, that the punishment you faced is to never live for yourself anymore, that all that you would ever be would be strength, to be the bulwark for others, and never fail them again like you failed the one you could not remember. How can you give this to me?
Very simple answer, actually. Because I love you.
Love you, Alicia.
As much as I would love to continue to be on the ground, being
You
with
should
you,
get up.
my bones are not agreeing.
Would you like me to carry you?
To my cot? Yes. If you wouldn't mind.
Of course.
Her cot is in the same tent, so. Oh,
She carries her over. She sets her down with despite all of her impressive and strong frame, it is just the softest placement of someone you could ever imagine.
I'll send a message to your friends saying the conversation will pick up in the morning. Okay?
Do you want me to stay by your side to watch over you? I can tell them quickly that this will be a much longer stop than we expected.
She shakes her head. I don't want to have to watch you walk away. If you can just pass me the vial of ink on the desk, I'll just send a quick message.
Of course.
And you don't have to watch over me. You can sleep too.
I've been asleep for 50 years. I'm more than happy to be awake for a bit.
She does give you a look, like, that's not what I meant type of look. But she doesn't say anything. And she'll take the small jar of ink from you, dip her finger in it, and cast a small spell that now you know why it looks so familiar to how when Maya did it. And Hale, Vago, and Mariana, you both hear a small message in your heads saying, "We're gonna meet up in the morning to talk about the mountain. Sorry for the delay."
I forgot about the mountain.
Hale claps Alvar on the shoulder as they're walking back into camp. Well, Alvar, my good chum, it looks like we're staying the night.
He gives you like a firm nod. And then isn't sure how to convey what he's trying to say. But have you guys come back to camp already?
Yeah, they're walking in through the entrance. Did a pass around with them.
Nalia then looks at you. Do you need an extra tent to stay out of the cold?
Oh, please. We've done nothing but hard camp for the past 3 days, and the rocks, they do not do my back any good.
A couple of us have extra room, and we do have at least 1 or 2 tents if you want to pitch them.
This is a serious conversation. This is a serious conversation. This is a serious conversation.
It is said with the most sincerity, okay?
Yeah, I know. My brain just went, oh, I could pitch a tent tonight, all right.
Oh my god.
Oh, didn't
But
know.
Hale will gladly accept.
Yeah. I'm looking at the list of like who is bunking with who.
Who I'll bunk with.
So I think Nalia and Ari bunk together. Nalia and Ari bunk together. Maya bunks by herself, as does Alvar, and Charles and Ilyana bunk together.
Even though Hale complained about sleeping on the hard floor, he will actually, like, pick a spot and tie some rope to his sleeping bag to make a miniature, like a hammock, essentially. Tie it to trees and just sit there, like, next, a few feet away from, like, the tent flap so you can just keep an eye on it.
That's fair. You can be close enough to the fire, too, where you're not, like, freezing. Maya runs over to, like, now that you see her going to it, you do see like a cart and horse, and she just grazing, and she grabs like a bundle of tarp and sticks and such, and will bring it over to the 3 of you. If you squeeze, you can probably fit all 3.
Is there room in the cart for a person?
No. There's like, it's mostly filled with supplies. You could if you want to be uncomfortable, but do you need help pitching it?
Mariana will grab like all of the things in her arm. You know, like when you try to hold too many things and it's like awkward. She'll just take it all like this. Like, not that she couldn't carry them strength wise, but she's not carrying them well. Got this. She'll like
Okay.
hobble over to a spot and just like, now she's angrily putting up a tent. She angrily ate her soup. Now she's angrily tent pitching.
Okay. Anything else anyone would like to talk about or to before we move into the morning?
I would like to talk with Vago about what we overheard.
Yeah.
yeah, we gotta talk about this.
Yeah.
So I think, do we want to talk about it while we're pitching the tent, maybe? I think that would be probably
Probably,
good.
yeah.
Like, while we're putting things together, I think, like, hammering things and, like, pounding things together will probably ease Mariana a little bit.
Pretending it's Ari's head.
What do you think happened?
Honestly, I don't know if I can say for certain what really happened. We don't even know enough to know what really happened. All we know, Luce goes out, she doesn't come back because she lost her memory, and then now this.
Do you think it happened when she died?
That's maybe one possibility. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something happened, some magic or something. Maybe she got hit on the head when she died. There are a lot of reasons as to how this could have happened.
I just can't. That means that Luz is really old.
Yeah, I guess she is.
When we get old, we're not gonna look old.
Vago's just gonna shrug. Hey, again, I have no clue what's gonna happen. Literally. Like,
Are you having this conversation with anyone else around?
Imagine. I guess it probably feels safe here in a way that Mariana would probably not feel like she needs to be quiet about it, and probably is also so, like, honed in on this topic that wouldn't necessarily notice somebody unless they inserted themselves in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really confusing, all of this. And
yeah, you're telling me.
it's, do you think Professor Vallette is mad at Luce?
Vago just sort of thinks back to what they heard with Mariana when they're kind of eavesdropping. Honestly, I don't think so. Weirdly enough.
I just was so mad. And right, she didn't seem mad. Professor Vallette, she didn't seem mad.
She didn't.
She was really happy to see Luce. That means that Professor Vallette, she doesn't have ink, does she?
Ilyana, one of the other travelers, pipes up from, like, right near the campfire. Nah. Festivalet ain't no traveler.
So when she dies, she
That's
dies.
Yeah. When she's gone, she ain't coming back.
That doesn't seem fair. That doesn't seem fair to Luce, because, you know, I didn't see a lot of old people at my home, but they didn't live much longer than she looks.
You're right, though. It isn't fair.
Sadly,
Just
life
got her
just
back.
ain't fair, though.
Hope that it feels like they spent 50 years together today.
I was kind of gonna go quiet at this, sort of ruminating for a bit before focusing back up on hammering out the tent.
Mariana will do the same. Just think about like just how unfair this all feels. Probably will just start to like like every once in a while you could probably just see her wiping like a tear from her face. Not like a full face of them, but just every once in a while just her wrist goes to her eyes.
At some point, probably closer to the end of your tenting, like pitching the tent, you realize that Ari was present during your conversation. And when you were just talking, just like in general, in camp. And she eventually just walks up next to you, doesn't say anything, and just holds out a flask. Peace offering.
You don't seem like the peace type.
She just shrugs. If you're not gonna have any, I'll just drink it myself.
Mariana won't say anything.
That's fair. She'll take a sip, make the same offer to both Hale and Vago.
Hale will take it.
That's fair. Some good, strong whiskey.
Vago will look at it quizzically before politely declining.
She nods, takes another swig, gives the three of you a nod before going over to Nalia and assisting her up. And the two of them go to their tent for the night. Maya looks at the three of you. I think we're all gonna also turn in shortly. Alvar's on first watch. If you want to sprinkle yourselves in, you're more than welcome to, but we have our watches set to start with, so.
Least we can do. I'm not volunteering you two to watch, but I'll take a watch with Alva or whoever wants me.
Maya nods. Right now it's it's gonna be Alvar, Ilyana, then Ari. So
I think I'll take the watch with Ari.
she nods.
How about you two?
Mariana will offer to take with Alvar. The quiet might be nice.
Guess that leaves me with Ileana.
Okay. Is there anything y'all want to talk about with your respective travelers that are watching?
Oh, as Mia leaves, Hale is looking into the fire, and just for Vago and Mariana to hear. I know things get heated when one of your friends is put up like that, but we have to remember that the things people say are opinions, no matter how wrong they are.
She was really wrong.
Very wrong.
The wrongest.
Hill will stand and clap Vago on the shoulder and then squeeze Mariana's shoulder as he walks towards his hammock. I expect you two
Mariana.
to play nice in the night.
Mariana. Alvar's a great listener if you talk, but you don't have a lot of conversing back and forth.
I think Mariana will enjoy quietness since she spent so much time by herself for so long. But I think she will find a stick, just like a small, a big enough stick where if you break it into, it's sizable,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
we'll sit next to Alvar for watch and play tic-tac-toe or
Okay.
something like that in the dirt.
I had a feeling you were gonna do that, and I'm so glad I was right.
Mm.
Yeah, he'll
Yeah.
play tic-tac-toe with you.
And I imagine she just spends time, just for however long their watch is, just playing small little
So good.
games in the dirt with Alvar and just enjoying the quiet. And then just taking the stick and erasing it and starting over again.
Vaga, do you have any conversations with Ilyana?
So I was probably going to talk to them about what they were going to check up on the mountain tomorrow. Like, what was their plan? I guess.
Well, our plan was to do exactly up there what we did down here. Look around, gather clues, and those that are magically inclined, do some magical tests. That is not me. I'm here to keep them alive. Long and short of it.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you guys don't have to deal with the golem that we fought now. So
That is mighty appreciated. But depending on what y'all talk about tomorrow, we might not even need to go up there.
yeah, it's true.
And to be quite honest, we didn't even know when we were going to get up there just because people are getting hurt down here. And that takes
Yeah.
priority.
Right. Those are those people going and disappearing, coming back, changed, and all of that. Right.
Yeah. They've been, finding folks in the forest. Folks have been attacked in the forest. More people come back changed or partially changed and then cause more havoc after completely changing, and it's just a whole mess. And I think they might have found something tonight, but then y'all got here, so didn't get far.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
Hopefully things go well with that on that front then.
They nod. Yeah, me too.
Vago sort of mutters, might be another clue over there too about.
Clue over where?
Oh, it's nothing. We found some clues, some weird stuff up on the top of the mountain when we were up there earlier.
All right.
I'm just positing that there might be more in these other areas.
Maybe. Maybe when you get the chance to actually sit down and talk, you'll have the chance to compare notes.
That's the hope.
They nod. Quicker we get down here, quicker we protect them folks. Quicker we get on to the next spot.
Sounds pretty good.
They give you a nice clap on the back. Just good-naturedly. Hale, do you talk with Ari?
He'll sit down a bit a ways from Ari and pull out his pipe, look over to her, and point to it like, "This okay?"
Yeah, that's fine. Just blow in the other direction, that's all.
Yeah, he'll smoke and kind of keep an eye out on the forest every now and again, kind of peeking over towards Ari.
She is mostly just on watch. Thinking, just stuck in her own head. At some point, she seems to get a little warm and takes off her gloves. And when she does so, you realize that her left arm is missing just below the elbow, and in place of it is ink.
Rad.
That's one of my favorite little pieces of things in this system.
You can replace body parts with ink. It's
Yeah.
great.
It's so cool. But yeah,
Um,
and just occasionally takes a sip out of her flask, but isn't like overindulging.
I'm not as good as a listener as some of your compatriots, but do you want to talk about it?
She glances over at you. Talk about what?
The whole situation with your great aunt and Luce.
Not much to talk about, to be honest. She left, broke my aunt. I grew up with her pretty close. That's about it.
Have you ever stopped to consider why Luce didn't get back?
Kind of hard to when someone you grew up with and partially took care of you growing up was crying every time a big holiday or event came up.
Family reunions? That sort of
Yeah.
thing?
The equivalent of. I'm sure she had a reason, but
Not quite good enough for you?
no.
I suspect it never will.
Based off the conversation, though, my aunt does not feel the same way, so I'll keep most of my opinions to myself from here on out, I guess. Or I'm never going to hear the end of it.
If only more people did that. I think in the grand scheme of things, as long as your aunt's happy, that matters, right?
I hope this made her happy. She deserves a little bit of happiness after working, just in general, for so long to keep her mind off it.
It's fair. All things lost eventually find their way home.
Or they're lost forever. And forgotten.
Well, you see, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So thank you for bringing me down off my philosophical high.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm the opposite. Surprise.
He'll scoot closer and, gesture his pipe over to her.
Are you offering that?
Oh, do you not?
No, I don't smoke. Thank you, though.
You could at least hold the chamber and warm your hands up a little.
I'm all right.
Listen,
And she just kind of waves the one hand that would be need to stay warm.
Listen, I'm just trying to play nice.
No, you're good. Alcohol's keeping me warm enough along with the fire, so.
Alright. So, and then just proceeds for small talk every 30 minutes or so, and followed by bouts of hour-long silences.
Yeah, basically. You don't have wholesome tic-tac-toe like Mariana did.
No. I was feeling her out, essentially.
All right, I think that's a good place to go to break. Everybody, please stand up, pet your pet, stretch, and we'll be back soon. Bye. Hello, everybody. We are back from break where we've had a lot of very emotional scenes and reunions. Some of them just charged with pissed off anger. It's fine. We almost got into a fist fight. And by we, I mean Mariana and me. It's fine. Anyway, we have returned to the morning after our group has made it to Professor Villette's camp. And the morning comes, birds start tweeting, the dew on the grass is sparkling in the sun as it begins to rise. It's a little chilly. Loose in the morning. Do you fall asleep at all?
I think when she's dead certain that Alicia is asleep, only then, and comfortable, only then will she make sure like to start taking off the armor. Because she still wears something beneath the armor,
Oh yeah.
but she takes it off and I think she just basically finds a stump close to her, sits on it, and then stays awake as long as she can until she eventually does sleep like peacefully. But like if anyone were to come to the tent, it'd just be her like resting head like on the glaive.
No one comes in the tent at all. Professor Villette gets her privacy. All right, in that case, in the morning, you are woken by Alicia moving and getting ready for the day, but also, just like she used to do over 50 years ago, running her hand through your hair if you were sleeping.
I'm sorry. What?
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
gonna go get breakfast and make good on my word last night to talk to you and your friends.
Of course. Do you? I think it's said almost with the equivalent of like a teenage, like romance kind of shyness. Do you want me to join you?
Only if you want to. I'm gonna put my niece to work and carry some porridge in here so we can all eat and talk at the same time.
Your niece.
My niece.
I imagine she has a different opinion of me.
She's never outright said anything to me, but yeah.
Well, I suppose if you'll give me forgiveness, then I suppose I can ask for scorn from her in that case.
I'll make sure she behaves.
I can take a few hits. She moves up, but she's mechanically still at like half her actual hit points, so like any movement, like just the burns on her face just flare up and the pain's still there.
Wish we had a healer, but we don't. Otherwise, I'd patch you and your friends up.
It's my body's yours. It always has been, and it always will be.
With that same teenage shyness, she turns away and begins heading to the door. The tent flaps where she begins to open. She doesn't open them to give you privacy if you decide to put your armor back on.
She does. Awkward, like 10 to 15 minutes of us shyly looking away from each other as I'm like putting the gauntlets and everything back on. There's fan fiction someone's writing of this
There's
at some
fanfiction
point.
somewhere. And Vago, Hale, and Mariana, you see Professor Villette coming out. Go over to Hale and Ari, who had last watch. So you're getting up with the dawn.
Professor,
Morning.
Good morning. Oh, shite. It is morning, isn't it?
Ari kind of is drinking some very strong coffee.
When
Did you
it
fall
ha-
asleep on watch?
I think I spaced out at some point. Usually I'm first watch, so this is a big adjustment for me.
I get that. And Professor Villette goes over to her niece, asks her to bend down a little bit, and says something in her ear. Anyone who's watching can see like a grumpy look across her face before she nods and begins to spoon out porridge into another pot, and so it can be brought in to her tent later.
Hale stumbles over to the mess line and kind of just goes over to like where the coffee's being dispensed. thanks whoever's dispensing it and just. Yes, good.
She eventually looks back at you, Vago. Did you sleep okay?
Oh, yeah, yes, I did. Thank you.
Shortly after Ari has gotten porridge, and if you want to get some coffee, we can continue our conversation from last night. Luce is also awake.
Vago will nod. We'll see you then.
She nods and walks back. Ilyana calls over to you, Vago. You want some, you want a cuppa?
Yeah, why not?
All right. And they pour you a nice black cup of coffee. And they hand it to you. No sugar or milk or anything though. Sorry.
Vago's gonna chuckle and kind of wave him off. That's fine.
We usually got it brewing all day, so if you need more, you know where to find it. It's where Nalia lives on the stuff, so. And whenever you're ready, you can head right in. Ari does seem to be waiting for you two to go in first.
He'll give them a just head nod, and we'll walk over to Luce. Yeah, I got you a cup. Oh, it's still hot. Never mind.
Tepid.
Shortly after you, Vago and Hale walk in, Ari comes in behind you, sets up the porridge with bowls like near a brazier, kind of gives a look to her aunt. Her aunt gives her a look. Ari takes a seat on one of the stumps. She's not looking at you, Luce, at all. Period. Not even looking in your direction.
Luce is looking in her direction, though.
It's rude to stare, you know.
Even ruder to sulk.
I'll sulk if I want. If my aunt didn't want me here, I wouldn't even be in here.
If you have anything you'd like to get out of your system before we continue.
She mulls it over for a quick second.
She turns the glaive over.
No, I'm good. Kind of letting the two of you get that out of your system. Professor Villette does sit back down on her cushioned stump and looks at all of y'all. Starting from the beginning, you said the four of you went up to the mountain.
Yes.
You are technically a pillar was up there. And a pillar, which we have been describing as any large mass excrement of ink. First time just happened to look like a pillar. But it is the description I have given it. We were going to go up there eventually. Just haven't made it yet. With all the individuals getting hurt down here, we need to help them first. Would you be willing to tell us what you found up there and maybe save us a trip, or at least, if we do eventually go up there, a head start?
All right. Well, we were coming from Perth to investigate the water the river
Mhm.
and how inky it is. We made our way to the top of the mountain. We found some sort of rock creature, a golem, covered in ink, and it expelled boiling water at us. Um, After defeating this creature, we scoured around, found some bodies up there of some previous adventurers who I guess were trying to investigate as well.
Bodies.
3.
Did I say 3 or was it 2?
It was 2 Magnus of Cycle bodies and
Okay, that's right.
Ellie.
And Ellie. Okay. What makes you think they were researchers?
Well, no idea. I was assuming they were there to find out what was going on with the river as well.
Welcome back, Amber. We have just started our conversation, and Hale has just said that we found 2 bodies of what he has been calling researchers of what's going on up there, which 2 Magnus of Cycles and Ellie. I don't know if you have anything else to say in regards to that. You're muted. In Discord.
She wasn't. They weren't all researchers.
Oh.
Ellie.
What? Sorry. Go ahead.
She was. She was from back home. She wasn't a researcher, but she was really strong. I think she probably wasn't strong enough to do it by herself. But I don't know if she was by herself. I don't know if she was with those people. I don't know how she would have met them. Or how she would have gotten up there.
Who were these people? It's
Vago's
just a
gonna
general
take.
question. Sorry, go ahead. I was just saying it's a general
Vago's
question
gonna.
to all of you.
Vago's gonna take off the class that they have on their logo, the class of their Magnus Cycles logo. They were members of the Magnus of Cycles from Vale Point.
Oh, the group of spellcasters and other mages, travelers and non-travelers alike.
Correct.
That makes sense on they do study ink and its uses and so on and so forth. But why they're so far from the city is
Oh, you don't know.
know what?
Vale Point fell a week ago.
Vale Point. What do you mean by fell?
The defenses failed. The ink got in.
Monsters.
We were there when it happened.
Ari pipes up. That's ridiculous. Those are some of the strongest like non-traveler protections like ever.
They
And
fell
they
right
saw.
from the sky.
Kind of leans back and like crosses her arms across her chest and just like digests that.
So I suggest if any of your travelers are linked to the sanctuary there, I suggest you move them to Perth. We have a print weaver there.
This must be pretty recent because we weren't aware Perth had a print weaver.
Well, newly instated.
No, they're currently linked to Vale Point, so if and when we'll try and get them set up at Perth. But you said there was a golem and 2
Right.
researchers and an Ellie? What makes you so certain she's not a researcher?
I knew her from back home.
I see. Where are you from, my dear?
Mariana doesn't really want to say, so she's like, kind of waits an uncomfortably long amount of time. Says, I'm from the trench.
And Professor Villette stops and like thinks, trying to scour her memory, and then looks at you. Do you wear gauntlets still, Mariana? After leaving?
No.
Okay.
I assume she would have given her book to Emily and then left her gauntlets. Honestly, she may have just been like, throw him on the ground. Like,
It's fair. Professor Villette is thinking to herself, and then looks up at you, looks at your hands, and then looks back up at you again. Yes, definitely not a researcher of ink. Definitely not.
no, and I don't think she was inked either.
Probably not. If she was inked, her body wouldn't be there. It would have turned into a printless and gone.
Learned about that mountain.
It is a morbid fate for a traveler's body, but that's neither here or there. What else did you find?
Rocks with runic writing on them. I couldn't recognize it. I believe some of us brought some back.
I did.
I wrote some down. Well, I rubbed some down.
She'll
Hand out her journal.
take it and begin looking at it. What do you hand over specifically to her? Just so I know what you are giving her to look at. Your rubbings.
Yep, so
What-
it'll
what
be
of
like
the-
open to the rubbings.
One of the rocks that Vago took from the top of the mountain with the runes on them.
Okay. You're holding on to the book still?
I'll probably hand over the book as well. See if the professor can make heads or tails of it, or at least if any of it.
And I think that's all what you grabbed.
Yeah.
She begins looking through it. Mostly starting with Mariana's book, and then the rubbings, and then the single rock, and then your completely destroyed book that you took off from the Magnus of Cycles. So, dear, come here. And she motions to Ari, not the other deer in the room.
There's a deer in the room?
Ari stands up, walks over to her aunt, and like looks over her shoulder, and like begins to read with her. There's a couple low conversations and like pointing at symbols and runes and such like, as well as a attempted look through of the the ruined book completely with ink. So, begins the professor. There's still a lot here that's missing. I'm assuming when you said there was rocks, I'm assuming a lot.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I couldn't even count them. I put them in groups, but there were so many.
Unless I gotta look at them myself, it'd be hard to get the full scope of what everything says. It's like trying to read a book where every 5 words are like the next 5 words are missing. Then you got 10 words, and then like another 5 words are missing. And then she points at the book, Vago. If I can read this, though, this might help. It's hard to tell with some of the ink splatters and the water damage, but this looks like it's promising. But it's going to take some time for me to look at it. But from what I can see, I see symbols and runes for moving, transference, purity. Specifically, expulsion.
Positing a theory, maybe those runic, the runes on the stones were a sort of protection against ink, since that's the wellspring that feeds the entire river.
Well, I've been up there before. Not recently, not recently. But there weren't runes up there 30 years ago.
Huh.
I've well traveled.
Was there a golem up there the last time you were there?
Yeah, there was.
Oh.
What did you do to it? Were you scared?
Some folks I was traveling with were able to restrain it for a bit before we ran.
An oddity about that golem. When we fought it, it was blighted by the ink. Yet the water it shot was not infected at all.
Perhaps it was just a surface level contamination, like when you get mud on yourself.
Now that makes me feel bad for the golem.
I believe that was a guardian of the spring. It's always hard to tell, but s- monsters and creatures show up in the oddest of places.
So wait a minute. It wasn't bad?
Would you call a bear, a mama bear, protecting her children, killing a person, bad? If she was trying to defend her children?
No.
Same concept with the golem, or at least I think. Considering it was there 30 years ago and still here 30 years later.
That mean it's not going to be protected anymore?
She shrugs. Depending on what happened, might not need protection, or it's too late.
Mariana has like a small crisis about this. Like, we killed something that wasn't bad, that was just trying to protect its home. And is like sort of sitting, ruminating quietly.
She looks down back at the book and like fingers some of the pages. I can look through this. I have some magic left that might be able to clear some of the ruined water damage up. But it's going to take time. Might I impose a favor on the four of you?
Depends on the favor.
The problem with the monsters and the villagers nearby turning into more monsters. We only have 3 travelers in camp. 4, but 1 is not combat ready. If I send all 3 travelers out, no one can protect camp.
Group?
I say we do it. This is one of the things we're supposed to do anyway, so.
Loose.
Alicia doesn't look at you, and you can tell she feels guilty for even asking you this.
Of course.
Ari pipes up. Are you sure this is a good idea? Kind of sending them into the unknown when we've been here doing it ourselves and getting all that information and the research and the pouring over dead bodies of those transformed. Are you sure this is a good idea, Auntie? And Professor Villette pauses, nods. You make a good point, Ari. Which is why I think you should go with them and advise them on the more technical aspects.
That's the thing that snaps Mariana out of the moment that she's having. Go with us. Just make a face. and not
Yeah,
say
Ari's also making like a face, but she also just said you couldn't do this without the knowledge. So she's kind of caught in the middle.
You checkmated
Counterpointed.
yourself.
Counterpointed.
Ari just kind of grumbles. Mm.
I think it's worthwhile to have you join us, Ari, for two reasons. For one, if you've been taught by Professor Villette, then you likely have been trained very well. And secondly, if you do not believe in the competence of any of us here, or of even just one of us in particular, what better way to ensure that this doesn't go terribly than being there with us?
Fine. Should we give them the rundown then? She says to her aunt. And then there is a nod. Do you want to do the honors? And Professor Villette nods. So what we've learned over the past week or so we've been here is the overlying problem, of course. Villagers have been missing from settlements, and sometimes they are coming back transformed into monsters, either partially or fully, and they act like any other monster. They kill, they consume, sometimes they're just protective, but regardless, they're dangerous. We have occasionally been going into the forest to look around, try and find hints of what might be causing this, or if there's any way to stop it. We did find a body yesterday. Ari kind of takes over from here. We found the body yesterday. It was not far from its, what's the best way to put this? Spawn point. It seemed to have like hatched out of a cocoon of some sort, but did not last very long. It was still only partially changed. It had human features still, and the long its arms and legs were elongated and furry and monstrous. Whatever happened to this individual looked like it was painful. So we think that whatever's causing this is catching folks, turning them for whatever reason, and then going from there. And we found several other empty cocoons, but this was the first time we saw anything near it. Some scrying magic says it's close, wherever this creature is closer to the western edge of the forest, centralized. But as my aunt said, there's only 3 of us. And at least a couple people need to stay at camp in order to protect the folks here. Hence why we haven't really done anything other than just go out and look.
A few questions, if you will.
Shoot.
Any connection between the people? Were they all travelers, or were they all just normal?
It's hard to tell by looking at them, but we have talked to 1 or 2 people at the settlement to the northwest, roughly, before people really started, as they were going missing. It was mostly folks going out gathering, hunting. Just folks in the woods.
Were they with groups or by themselves?
I think mostly by themselves.
All right.
We know that there's a small settlement to the south, but we just have not had a chance to go there to see if anyone was missing. It's a little too far.
Wait,
We just
Mariana will take her book and look at her map, try to figure out where that is.
It's towards, if you look at the map that I most recently posted, it's near the end of the river on the western edge. Oh, it's not on there, but it's down there.
On our way to investigate, could you take us to one of these spawn points? I'd like to see if there are any leftover tracks. The most recent one, if possible.
If the monsters haven't gotten to the corpse, yeah,
Oh no.
at least since yesterday. We'll see.
Are you saying that it also cannibalizes the thing it turns?
Some monsters just don't care, to be quite honest.
Bleh.
Not saying it's the creature itself, but there are monsters out there that don't give a shit.
No, you're right on that part. Okay. Any questions from the rest of the group?
If they can
No.
turn into one, they can turn back, right?
Ari shrugs. If they can, it's outside our skill set.
Mariana, I understand that sometimes we have to recognize that the creatures we are fighting are not in control of themselves, but in a fight or flight situation, it's us or them, and I sure as shit will choose us 100% of the time.
Just nod and look down.
I just remembered, says Professor Villette. I don't know if we ever properly introduced ourselves. I'm Professor Villette. I apologize.
Hail from Perth.
Vago. Vago Viator.
I am Mariana Cross from the trench.
It's nice to meet you, and thank you for your help.
I have some questions about the pillars, but this issue seems a bit more pressing. We'll take care of it and have an extended conversation when we're back.
He nods.
Wait,
Hmm?
said a pillar doesn't have to look like a pillar, right?
Yeah, it's just the term I've been using to describe a large mass of ink coming very quickly.
Do you think that maybe this is pillar?
I'm not sure.
I hope not. That last one was really rough.
You did good. All of you. If there's anything we can... At minimum, we can give you some rations to make the journey to the west, in the center of the woods.
Much obliged.
And if there's anything else you think you might need, and we have, and we can spare it, we'll go from there. Just let us know. Ari will help you. Ari does not say anything.
How quickly would you like us to set off to take care of this?
Still pretty early in the day, so maybe by early afternoon?
If possible, I would like to have a conversation with Professor Villette before we head out. Just speaking to the group and such. That's all.
Okay.
That's my cue for second breakfast.
Ari grabs the porridge pot, which is hopefully empty,
Yeah.
and leaves promptly.
Mariana will try to be the last one out and just like look at Professor Villette, like look at Luz, just like take a beat to like look at both of them, and then we'll go.
Vago, you also skedaddle?
Yeah, if I was gonna go skedaddle and maybe get another cup of coffee.
Good call. Yeah, Luce?
It's very strange referring to you so formally around others.
I never asked you to do that.
I know, but especially with Ari, I feel as though it would have been suggesting of a familiarity I had not learned.
She's just going to have to, in her words, deal with it. She'll actually take your hands.
Fair bit of pain.
Gently take your hands. She's not going to grab them.
No, it's not because she did it hard. It's more.
Okay.
I'm imagining because she's at half health, and I imagine the lingering effect of it is that the burns over her body have made like her skin like extremely sensitive. So any kind of touch just hurts.
Sorry. We
No.
might have some aloe. I probably should have grabbed that last night.
I never was quite a looker, so I don't think this has made me look that much worse, to be honest.
If you say that again, I will throw many compliments in your direction. So please do not put yourself down like that. I, however, have seen better days.
If you start putting yourself down, then I will also start throwing compliments at you.
Okay, so we're just going to say the other is beautiful, and continue on.
You know how blunt I am. You know that there's something else we need to talk about.
I did have a last question, though I don't know if it's what you think it is, but...
Say it. I'll wait for mine. Mine is a bit of a sadder tone to it.
What happened to my sword? If you don't remember, that's okay. I have to
don't
at least
know.
ask.
I don't know beyond the last thing that killed me has it, I believe.
She nods.
I think I remember. I'd wondered why, of all things, the sword had meant so much to me. Why it felt so single-minded. Not just to get it back, but having it.
As I gave it to you. Or because it was a really good sword. And that's just said in like the most just tone. But just trying to move the conversation forward.
Alicia,
Yes, Lily? If you don't want me to call you that, I can stop.
no. How long do you think you have left?
To be honest, I think I should already be gone.
So maybe any day now?
I don't think any day. I'll be kicking and fighting for a while, but I don't know.
This isn't. I don't want this to be a last goodbye.
You better come back quick, right?
If it is, though, I want you to know that I love you with all my heart. That whatever strength I have had, do have, and will have, it will always be in your name and for your sake. I don't know much. I don't remember much about the time we spent together. I don't remember favorite foods, books, texts, anything, but I remembered my love for you.
As you're talking, with your fullest heart, she has nothing to say because she's just broke down crying.
If we take too long, for whatever reason, and I don't get to say goodbye, I will come back to be here with you. It does not matter what it costs me, what hell I have to go through. If I have to break every bone in my body and rend asunder any number of creatures, I will do anything so that you know, living or dead, that I am yours.
I'm going to hold you to that.
Good. I still remember you being stubborn.
Yeah. Stubborn and in love.
It's just very, there's no sound, there's no stoicism, all of who she was around the whole group back first session, all of that is gone. It's just a woman in love crying. It's her wife.
I don't think I can watch you off, Luce. But know that I love you, and that I will be wishing for your safety. Okay?
As you wish.
She'll motion for you to bend down.
She bends down. She kisses.
If you need anything else, please let me know. I'll be here.
Pulls out the magic dagger. Is it worthwhile to give another wedding gift?
You're gonna give my gift back.
I suppose in this case it would be rude,
It would be.
so I'll keep. Not remembering is terrible.
Just new memories. The new memories will be just as good, I promise. Come back soon.
She leaves.
Everyone else, is there anything you would have liked to do in the meantime before you leave?
Chatting with the other travelers, like, yeah, so if eventually you make your way down to Perth, get over to the apiary, tell them that Hale sent you, and they'll set you up with something sweet for your coffee.
Thank you. I ain't gonna lie. The bitterness of this coffee has been annoying. Every once in a while.
Well,
I
we,
think-
Go ahead, Amber.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna faff again.
I think Mariana's probably just been writing things down, just like as she remembers them, like because we didn't really have a chance to on the mountain, so now, she's just writing everything down, and she sits for a while just with like her notebook and her pen, and after a little bit, we'll tear a piece of paper out of her notebook and write something on it and fold it up. And she'll go and find Maya.
Yeah. Maya is looking through a book of hers, making notes. Hey.
You do that too? Pointing
Right?
to the book and the notebook.
With all the information I need to learn and keep in mind all day, it certainly helps.
I have to do it to remember. Not a very good rememberer.
I get that. It's sometimes very hard to remember.
I was hoping that after we leave, could you do me a favor?
If I can, if I'm able to, sure.
It's really easy. I just but it has to be after we leave, okay?
Sure, what do you need me to do?
She'll take the little piece of paper and give it to Maya. You give this to the professor when we're gone.
Sure, I can do that.
Don't read it though, okay?
No, of course not. I won't do that.
Okay. But after we're gone, okay?
Yeah,
Okay. She'll just
I can do that for you.
thanks. Just sort of scurry out and go collect things to be packing.
And Vago.
Vago's kind of sort of sit on kind of like on the ground, kind of ruminate, brood a little, if they will. They're kind of thinking about what kind of happened in this past, I guess, day and a half. I guess we can call it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like obviously they're really happy to see that Luce has got to like get some closure on like this huge part of her life, and like actually get some peace of mind. Like, hey, like, well, and it may not be perfect. She found who she was looking for. And that sort of stirs up some anxiety and unease in Vago. What if it's not so good with them? What if the answers they're looking for don't turn out to be exactly what they were expecting or even what they wanted? And kind of gives them food for thought for a little bit as they kind of ponder on that kind of heavy question.
Ileana comes up to you. You need another refill before you go? Or are you just gonna stare into the empty cup?
Oh, why not? Yeah.
They actually brought the whole, like, they actually had a cup and just, like, pours half of theirs into yours.
Oh, thanks.
No problem. Honey, for your thoughts?
Just thinking, I guess, about the future.
Ah, the tumultuous future that is forever changing and morphing.
Yeah. Well, I guess both the future and the past. That things that are supposedly set in stone. Yep. Yeah. I guess if I could remember mine, I'd love to know it.
I might offer some advice that might keep you from worrying a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't think about it too hard. To be quite honest, if you think about it too hard, you're just gonna worry about it, and you're either gonna figure it out, or you ain't.
It's funny. Luce gave me that exact same advice when some stuff happened up on the mountain.
Hey, a
So,
wise woman. I would hope
yeah.
so. She seems old as dirt. I say that affectionately, but also seems like she's been through a lot. So I hope she knows what she's talking about.
She does. She does.
Also, don't hurt yourself too hard thinking about it, beating yourself up over things you can't control. Ain't gonna do anything except beat yourself up.
Yeah. Kind of hard to stop when that's like your main goal in life, you know? Figure out what happened.
You could just live. Why are you laughing at me?
It's just the character saying you could just live feels like this system's version of get good scrub.
Yeah.
Well, mine was okay. I don't need to be attacked as a player right now.
Print Weaver is where you can parry attacks, but you can't parry emotions.
Nope.
Hell, you talking about? I've been tapping that shit down for 50 years. You can't tell me Jack Diddley squat.
Yeah, I could live, but I'd always know that in the back of my mind, there'd always be a voice telling me, "You should have just gone for it. Just keep going. You almost." It's just an itch that I'm never gonna be satisfied until I fully know what happened. So.
All right. And then he kind of slaps you back again. All right.
Ow.
Sorry. No. I hope you figure it out. But don't stress yourself out too much, or honestly, if you stress yourself too much about it, it's gonna hinder you. Get yourself wrapped up and caught up in the what ifs and the maybes. Gonna work yourself up to a frenzy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You'll figure it
that's
out.
good advice. Thanks for the coffee and the advice.
Hopefully it won't steer you wrong. Coffee or the advice.
Never usually does. Mama doesn't know why they say that, but kind of just felt natural to say that.
Good luck, and when you're done with the coffee cup, you can just put it back over near the pot. Someone will wash it later.
All right.
Good luck. And they just kind of give you a small salute. Head back over and begin quietly talking with Charles. Is there any gear you might want, or
Rope.
you can have rope. They will spare you some rope.
It's very useful. We've discovered. I want to heal with rope. I want to get that man rope.
Yes, rope is simple enough. That is given to you.
Mariana will ask for like field medic supplies, any sort of wrap, not anything intricate, but like, do you have gauze? Do you have wrap? Something that we can take with us in case
Get a
something
little bit of
happens.
ass tracing for this cut, please.
Look,
Yes, you
Yeah.
can get a small kit of clean bandages,
mm,
some herbs that can dull pain or also help stave off infections.
mm.
You also, with that, are given 500 drops of ink, but they tell you this ink, while you can use it for the other things, is specifically part of the medical kit. Because if you consume ink, I don't remember the exact number. I think it's maybe like 100 drops. Will heal vitality. But once you consume a certain amount, you go down to 1 everything. Because it just kind of overwhelms your system if you consume too much.
It gets flushed out eventually, I think.
So, but yes, the 500 drops is part of the medical kit.
And Mariana will take that very seriously. Like, thank you.
You're welcome. Just be careful. Ari kind of sidles up with her own gear. She is now dressed in her armor. Looks like heavy leather armor. Has her bag, also supplies with rope. Her gloves are off, or her glove is off on her ink arm, but is on her regular arm. And it just kind of warbles for a second before she flexes it. Anything else y'all need to do, or are we going?
Who's going?
Mariana will just look at Maya and like nod, and then like nod to the rest of the group that she's ready.
We'll be back soon, and we'll make sure this one comes back in one piece.
I'll be back in one piece, don't worry.
Why don't all of you start heading on ahead? Hale, may I borrow you for a moment?
Sure.
We'll maybe be like 200 paces to the west. And we'll wait for you there.
I have a long stride. We'll catch up.
Well, I have short legs.
I'll carry you if need be.
Truly and honestly? God.
Yes.
All right, we're going before I have to watch this conversation anymore. Mariana, Vago, was it?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go.
Hale will watch them leave and then turn to Luce. What's up?
I just want to say thank you.
For?
You know what?
Honestly, I have no idea what you're talking about. If I've done anything thankworthy, then you should do that.
She's my wife, you know.
No shit.
No shit.
It's good that you found her.
You're looking for people too, yes?
Yes.
Then why don't I make a promise to you? Before I meet my end, whatever it is going to be, I will make sure you find your friends.
Well, I was planning to have this awkward conversation sometime. Don't take this the wrong way, Luce, but I'm firing you from protection duty.
Are you saying you're going to protect yourself for once?
No, I think it'd be mutually beneficial if we both look out for each other. So a promise to you: we'll get you back to your wife. You help me find my friends. Partnership instead of the protectorate and protectee.
He holds hand out, and like if you grasp it, it isn't as tight as you know she is capable of doing. It is firm, but with a level of equal respect. You're a good man, Hale.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
Good.
Wait, what?
It'll keep you from talking for a few minutes.
I will blubber. You know I blubber. And you don't want a chatterbox blubbering. It's incomprehensible everywhere.
I think we catch up. We catch up with the group, but I think just the last thing that she says it quietly, but she knows that. I think she trusts Hale to hear this bit. It's very softly said, but it's definitely in the direction of Alicia's tent, and she simply says, "Please don't go. I don't want you to be forgotten. Not again. Please." And she carries on.
You catch up with Ari leading Mariana and Vago. She does stop about 200 paces away like she said she would, just kind of like impatiently waiting for the rest of you to catch up. And when you do, her arms are crossed and she's looking at the four of you. So, where you want to go first? You want to see the corpses, right? Well, the corpse that we were looking at yesterday.
Hopefully, I want to take a look around the corpse to see if the monster left any tracks.
Okay.
I might not look like much, but I am a tracker by trade.
Okay. All right. In that case, we will head that direction. It's probably about an hour walk west. Well, an hour walk with my aunt. So probably closer to 30 minutes for us. All right.
Lead on.
What?
Lead on.
She nods. I would like everyone to please roll me stealth. Because this is still, and she like tells you this. Please try and be quiet. Because this forest still has a lot of monsters and such, and we don't know 100% what is going on.
2 successes.
Stealth is a dex check, right? Just making sure.
Correct, yeah.
4 successes.
1 success.
Mariana?
I got 1.
Okay. It's not as quiet as you would hope, but it's as quiet as you can get with the skill set that the 5 of you have. Out of everyone, of course, Hale's gonna be the quietest. She's not, Ari's not as quiet as you thought she would be either. She definitely knows how to move to be quiet, but not naturally graceful. But she seems to do pretty well for herself, just because she knows where to go right now and what to avoid. So you're okay. She leads for about 30 minutes, and as you get deeper into the forest, you begin to see something in the treetops. You see this silvery thread, very going from branch to branch. It's not super noticeable until it starts bunching up and you eventually come to a tree, which is completely covered in this, what looks to be some kind of silverish silk, which has been cocooned around the tree in like a big bunch and eventually has been burst open. And what you see on the ground is what Ari and Professor Vallette described earlier. Something that was once human and whose limbs are now very long and furry, almost like with small little hooks at the end. Very mutated, but it didn't seem to survive long. What do you do?
Well, that's horrifying.
I think I just lost my appetite for lunch. Nice.
Oh, good. I'll have your share.
Are they bugs?
Hale is going to squat down next to the corpse and from his back fishes out a skinning knife. And he's just going to try and open the mouth up to check inside to see if there's like fangy mutations.
Before you do that, before you get the full chance to do that, Vago,
Uh-oh.
you
Oh no.
kind of recognize this person.
Oh no!
They were not your immediate family that took care of you when you first woke up without any memories. But it is a person by the name of Sydney. And he would often sell like grain or other necessities to the Sagebends.
No.
Okay. No?
Kid, you okay?
I know who this is. They were a merchant who they sold things like grains and such to the family I lived with when I woke up. Why is he here? What? How? Oh my god.
Did they travel
I mean, if they're
through the woods?
if they were a merchant, I would assume so. But why?
Well,
I haven't. Why the woods?
well, technically there's another settlement to the north. I think
Yeah,
it's
there's smoke?
I think it's called Paddock Bay. Hale, you would know that it is called Paddock Bay.
Yeah, more or less 3 days travel from here.
Oh my god.
Do you continue to look for fangs, Hale?
Hale will look to Vago like, you know, this is a person you knew. Like, kind of feel bad for doing this now.
Vago's gonna try to compose themselves once again, sort of stifle down whatever emotions they're feeling at seeing the corpse of this mutated corpse of this person they once knew, but eventually they'll look at Hale and nod. Go ahead. Just get it done quick, please.
Hey, Luce, could you take Vago to secure the perimeter?
Come with me, Baku.
So yeah, if you open the mouth to look for fangs, you would see like the start of like fangs growing. Yeah. Not on the teeth, but definitely like from the gums
Oh, is it like
in front of the
supernatural vampires where there's like a second layer that comes down over the teeth?
Oh,
probably.
Okay.
But it's more definitely like insect, not vampire.
cool.
joy!
Bugs.
Fun.
Even worse.
Yay.
Somehow.
Listen, I looked last week when I made this thing. I did not see insects on the lines and veils, so tell me now if I
No.
need to change
They're
anything.
they're not a line. They're just yucky.
Okay.
It's like I'm fine with it's the premise of being turned into this creature.
It's like
Okay.
it's like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, but worser.
Oh yeah.
It's like
worser.
worser. I think at that revelation, Mariana will draw her sword, not like ready to fight, but just like I'm not about to be chased by any bug people at this moment. Thank you.
So yeah, this is what we were looking at yesterday.
Terrible way.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Hale will sheath the skinning knife and proceed like to crawl hands and knees looking for any tracks that aren't humanoid or this creature's.
Yeah, roll me a will check. I will give you advantage on the roll.
Sweet.
Cuz Ari's going to be assisting you. Cuz
I'm
she's
gonna-
been around and already done like a general sweep yesterday.
I'm going to sink a point of will into this to boost my dice.
Sure.
Two successes, one is a crit.
Cool. Okay. So yes, you are able to find definitely find some kind of tracks. They are. Let me look at my little card. Yes. So you find tracks as well as drag marks. They are old. At some point, the drag marks are specifically brought to the tree, and then you can assume they were trussed up in this silk. And then, but the tracks that you see are multi-legged, more than a quadruped, though it's hard to get an exact quantity. And the gait is really, really weird. You haven't seen it in any like natural animal, like a wolf or a dog or anything along those lines. And the footprint, quote unquote footprint, is like 2 claws in the front and then 1 in the back.
It's not like any animal I've ever seen. Multiple legged.
Probably some kind of monster. And Providence knows there's so many different types.
There are some types of insects. Well, it's not quite an insect. He's still looking around. Arachnid. Specifically trapdoor spiders. They drag their prey off and tie them up inside their dens. Though, I doubt this area is considered its den. They like the dark.
Also, look at the size of it too.
Yeah.
That's easily the size of Luce's hand. If not bigger.
Drag marks here, but no struggle. Maybe some sort of venom paralytic. Captures prey, drags them off to seclusion, and
Real question is why?
do you want the natural answer to that, or my speculation?
Both.
Well, there are, again, some animals in the insect kingdom that when they have their babies, they live feed. They'll
don't like
tie
that.
up their catch of the day and implant the eggs, so they have some type of nutrients.
Let's go to your speculation because that is.
I don't have. I have a working theory, but nothing too concrete. Again, it just comes back down to propagation. It's changing people to be more like it. To what end, I do not know.
Mm. Regardless of its drive, we gotta figure out what to do with it. Find it and then figure out what to do with it.
Have you been to the other settlements?
Not recently.
Do you know if they have any local legends about this forest? I have no clue about this pod.
Honestly, that would be like a Charles question. Charles and Alvar went, while the rest of us stayed behind.
All right. We should make for that settlement just in case. I think it's
Do you want to go to the settlement first, or do you want to try and... Actually, this... Loose. Vago. Kind of calls. A little loud, just so it carries over to you, but not, like, super loud.
Hmm.
Your friend Hale is suggesting we go to the settlement, and she looks at you questioningly.
It's been some time since you've last been there, correct?
Yeah, me personally, yes.
We don't know the frequency at which this thing attacks. For all we know, the village itself could be overrun with more of these creatures. So I think it's in our best interest to check and make sure everything's alright.
Counterpoint. It could get more while we're looking, because this is not the only settlement. There's the one to the south.
Fuck, you're right. Good counterpoint.
The south one, that's the one that they talked about when we were told about the monsters. Remember when Emily said?
Right. Right?
Remember. I think it was both.
Both. Okay.
If it's not both, it's both now.
Roger that. Whatever this creature is, its scope of territory is very grand.
Whole forest.
I think the best course of action is to make a move. Either to the village to the west or village to the south.
We did go in a little deeper, and we do think it's westward, where its home base is. If anything, due to the increase in silk.
Oh. Well. 1. Gross.
Yes.
2. Thank you for the lead. Westwood?
Westward.
Agreed.
Sorry, for tonight, for the next following nights while we're in this forest, we should double up on shifts. 2-2-1.
Sure.
Mariana will suggest that she and Luce take opposite shifts, just for strength. And we'll also just Ari goes on the shift with.
Not either of those.
Yeah.
I think like a staggered shift where it's gonna be like the first shift is 2 people, and then there'll be like a
And then
30-minute shift change where there's 1 person on shift, then somebody wakes up 2 people, you know?
Before you do go into shift, though, I do want to do a little bit more,
Yeah.
which will involve one more check. Might go a couple minutes later, but
I was just suggesting for
perfect. That's perfectly fine. Ari does lead the way a little bit more, farther west and farther west, and it's not before long. The 5 of you hear people talking, kind of maybe a little bit of arguing. And like Ari stops and freezes listening. You can't really hear what they're saying. But she does stop listening, trying to figure out exactly where they're coming from. And like looks to everyone else.
We should probably warn them not to be in the forest.
What if they're one of them?
Fair play.
Maybe get a look at them quick, see what they're all about.
Yeah, I could do that.
Do you want... Should we be splitting up?
Honestly, in my very humble opinion, I am so much more sneakier than the rest of you.
All right, Hale. Make me a roll, please.
Did I mistake you from a sign from down? 5 with 1 crit.
Oh, I don't think they can pass that. I don't think they can pass that. No, they wouldn't be able to pass that. They're not 4d10 creatures. Okay, they're not... I said they're not 4d10 creatures.
Oh, I heard.
No. So
I
the
heard
only
40
way they...
creatures. I was like, what?
So the stat block for a human, it goes their will from 0 to 4, like in terms of vitality dice, is 0, 1, 2, 4, 8. The only way that they'd be able to beat your check is if they were a 4d10 creature, but they're not 4d10 creatures.
Right. No, sorry. I heard there were 40 creatures. Like,
Oh,
Yeah, same. And then I realized
okay.
they were saying 4d10,
No,
Yeah,
no,
not 40.
Okay, so what you see when you sneak up on a small clearing, you can barely even call it a clearing. It's just like 3 trees in a triangle with each other, and you see 2 individuals quietly talking, occasionally like their voices getting a little louder and arguing. You see a person that is dressed similarly to Ellie, with the shields and the insignia that Amalia showed you. The second one is another individual. You don't recognize either of these, but you do recognize the insignia on the other individual. 3 circles intertwined with each other, which is the Magnus of Cycles.
they're teaming up.
And they are having a discussion. But that's where we're going to end the game tonight.
No.
Because it's 9 o'clock.
Oh shit.
Oh,
I was really hoping Mariana and Vago would have also gone up with you, but nope, Hale's the sneaky one.
No, Mariana understands her limitations.
so does Vago. So does Vago.
Hale's gonna
More-
come back, clap both of them on the shoulders. You might want to deal with this one.
Wait, what?
Anyway, hey everybody. I hope you all had a lovely evening watching this emotional time. We're just gonna call it that. We're gonna go around and say, hey, who you are, where you can find us, and go from there. And maybe we have a raid. We'll see. Who would like to go first?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and just like Queen, I'm having a good time. Having a good time. You can catch me over on Twitter at rjustice282, on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends and shitpost. Catch me tomorrow over at the Indoor Adventures, where we're doing a D&D 5e game, where we're level 20, and we're gonna go fight worms in space. It's level 20. That description should not surprise anyone. Thursdays over at the Hype Goblins, where we're playing another 5e homebrew campaign where it's all third-party content, because fuck the OGL.
Fuck you, Watsy.
Saturdays over at G Game Nights, where we play a game of Parslings. It's a deck building game where you choose successes based on what cards you draw, and then you get neat little quotes that help you either draw more cards or suffer consequences. Finally, Sunday mornings again at the Hype Goblins, where we do a Pathfinder 2nd edition game where, you know what, we're low level, we're hitting the road, and my character's dealing with some trauma, which I have to do twice a week on Sundays because I'm also here. I love y'all.
I can go next. This always happens. I'll just do it real quick. Hello there, lovelies. My name is Angela Lemos Rebecca. You should your pronouns, and I've been playing Lucia Valnut. It's kind of nice to say that now. You can find me over on Girls Run These Worlds on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. EST, 10 p.m. PST, running Afterlife Wandering Souls for our Afterlife Hotel Nexus series, where last session I just had two of my players have collapsed from memory recollection in the midst of an apocalyptic solar eclipse that's happening, right after seeing two kaiju-sized elemental birds with techno-organic bodies fighting in the sky above them. We're gonna see how that pans out, but that's me.
Wow.
My name is Amber. You can find me on most places on the internet as analog_Amber. I am a variety Twitch streamer who streams on Mondays, Fridays, and Sundays. Currently, I am raising money for Stream for a Cause, who is a 501c3 nonprofit foundation grant organization providing grants to grassroots organizations that need your help. I currently hit our first goal of $150, and at $300 raised, I will be eating a snickle, which is a Snickers inside of a pickle. So if you would like to help a good cause, come on over, throw a little money, Save for a Cause's way, and watch me suffer.
What about a one chip challenge?
I did that before.
Oh, how
I've
would
done-
that go?
It was
Oh.
very spicy. I ate lots of bread.
Hey everyone, my name is Bishop Watange. You can find me on Twitter at neon_Raiden. I'm just a voice actor who likes talking about the nerdy things in life, like tokusatsu, so any Kamen Rider Sensei, Power Rangers, stuff like that. You can watch me shitpost about them. Yeah, that's pretty much me.
And hello, hi, I'm Mara, I use they, she pronouns, and you can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. As always, you can find me here every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern, running this game of heartbreak and tears. On Thursdays for 2 more sessions at 7 p.m. Eastern on Sword and Key, I run an Invisible Sun campaign called Fraying Threads. We will have 2 more sessions along with a couple developmental scenes that are pre-recorded and will be posted. It's getting real. Let's put it that way. And also on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, also on Sword and Key, I play a nautical campaign called Horizon's Call, where I play a lovely Soul Knife rogue stars druid that is just centaur and stabby. We had a guest this week, we have a guest next week, so come please check us out. Tonight we are going to be raiding the High Shelf Collective, so stick around for the raid. And also, we have a lot of really awesome games on the channel. Check out the Twitter and the schedule. June is packed. Happy Pride. We have a bunch of one-shots for charity come up. Let's go. All right, that's all I got, everyone. We'll see you next week. Bye.